Is it a condition for the validity of khul that it must involve compensation? Meaning, does it have to involve money? In other words, must the wife return money to the husband? Or is it possible for khul to be valid without any money and making it like a regular divorce? Scholars have differed on this issue and have two opinions. The first opinion, according to the well-known view among the Malikis, one opinion of the Shafi'is and one narration from the Hanbalis, they said that khul is valid whether or not there is compensation. Why? They said because khul is a termination of the marriage, so it is valid without compensation, just like divorce. That is, when a man divorces his wife, he is not required to pay anything, right? Similarly, if khul takes place, it is possible for the woman to separate from her husband without returning any money to him, but this is on the condition that the husband agrees. They also said that the basis for the legitimacy of khul is that the woman has lost interest in her husband, meaning she does not want him and feels the need to separate from him, so she asks him for separation. If he agrees, the purpose of khul is achieved and it is valid just as if it were with compensation. This is the first opinion. The second opinion, which is the correct one, and is the view of the Hanafis, one view of the Shafi'is, and the Hanbalis according to their school, is that for khul to be valid, it must be in exchange for compensation. And khul is not valid except with compensation. Because the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said to the wife of Thabit ibn Qais when she wanted to seek khul, the Prophet, peace be upon him, asked her, "Will you return his garden to him, which was your dowry?" She said, "Yes." So the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Accept the garden and divorce her once." And they said that compensation is an essential element in it, so it is not valid to omit it, just like the price in a sale. They said, when you buy a commodity, there must be a price for it. So in that case, a sale requires both a price and a commodity. Similarly, in the case of khul, what is required here? Compensation is required because it is one of the essential elements. If he grants her khul without compensation, neither khul nor divorce takes place. Meaning, if he says to her now, "I grant you khul," and he does not take anything from her, then neither khul nor divorce occurs. Because if something is not valid, then nothing results from it, just like an invalid sale. However, if the khul is without compensation and he intends it as a divorce, then divorce takes place. That is, if he says to her, "I grant you khul," or "I divorce you," and he intends divorce and not khul, then divorce occurs. But if he does not intend divorce and only intends khul, then it does not take place, because it is considered a metaphorical expression for divorce. And they said that khul is not valid merely by the payment of money. For example, if a woman says to him, "Take this money, 1,000 pounds, and let me go," meaning that just by her giving him the money, the khul is not valid. Rather, the husband must utter the appropriate words because it is a transaction involving compensation for separation. Therefore, it is not valid without a verbal declaration, just like marriage and divorce, just as a marriage is not valid merely by specifying the dowry. Rather, he must say, "I marry you," or something similar. And likewise for divorce, he must say, "I divorce you." Similarly for khul, he must say, "I grant you khul." And Imam Ibn Abd al-Barr, may Allah have mercy on him, says, if the intention was to enact khul without compensation, then according to Malik, it is still considered khul and the divorce would be irrevocable, ba'in. It has been said that it is not irrevocable unless there is compensation, meaning that compensation is necessary for it. And this is the most correct opinion, according to me and according to the scholars and those who reflect. Meaning the most correct view among the scholars is that khul must involve compensation. Because the woman who requested khul, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, instructed her to return the garden to him. And Allah, glorified and exalted, knows best.